Here we will take a closer look at the people, experiences, and leadership shaping the future of the insurance industry in the Philippines. Throughout the series, we will be speaking with industry leaders, educators, and practitioners who are helping strengthen the Philippine insurance ecosystem, from advancing professional development and mentorship to navigating the realities of risk, resilience, and emerging challenges. Hello and welcome back to the IIAP podcast. We are back with season 2, and our focus is on insurance in practice with the Insurance Institute for Asia and the Pacific. Now today we will explore the ideas, leadership principles, and experiences shaping the future of the insurance industry in the Philippines. My name is Jacqy Raj. I will be your host for today, and in today's episode we turn our focus to something that quietly powers the entire profession: knowledge. In an industry where decisions carry real financial and social impact, the expertise, judgment, and professionalism of practitioners matter more than ever. Now, behind that expertise are institutions, mentors, and educators who help develop the next generation of insurance professionals. Through teaching, mentorship, and years of industry engagement, they help ensure that the industry continues to grow stronger, more trusted, and more resilient. Now, joining us today is Mr. Jene Aliwalas, a long-serving faculty member of the Insurance Institute for Asia and the Pacific, who will share his insights on how education and mentorship shape the future of insurance practice and leadership. Let's give a round of applause. Hello, Sir Jene. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Jacqui. Thank you for having me.
A long time serving in the industry. How does it feel to be here? I want to know what that feels like.
I'm still amazed why I stayed this long. I started my career teaching in the 70s, and at the end of my career, I was still teaching. And now that I'm retired, I'm still teaching.
You are still teaching.
But you know, looking back, I think it's because there's a lot to learn, and there are too many things to cover, and therefore it's always a fresh thing for me. So I kept on learning, and I kept on sharing that whatever wisdom I gained through the years. So I'm happy that I did.
I'm sure a lot of people who have experienced your, wisdom and knowledge also feel absolutely grateful. I'm curious, you said you started teaching for the past few years, right? What did you exactly start teaching? Were you already in insurance at the time, or?
Yeah, my first job is with an insurance company.
Okay.
And part of the job is to train agents all over the country. Wow. I had to move around, started to like it very much, so I never left the teaching job. But maybe because they say, those who cannot do, they teach. So,
I highly doubt that, though. I'm sure that you're a very good practitioner yourself. Now, I'm very curious to, because I'm sure you will agree that, insurance is a very knowledge-based, knowledge-heavy kind of, industry. What makes you think that it is that compared to other industries?
I guess it is because of the nature of the product. It's not tangible, it's so technical, it's not being taught in any of the schools. So people who enter really have to learn about the product. And it's really an industry where you cannot sell well until you get a basic learning about what you're selling. It takes a while before you can master the concepts and principles. You really need to get that minimum knowledge base. Yeah. Otherwise, you won't be successful.
I definitely agree. I mean, there are so many insurance policies out there. The nature of the business definitely, I'd say, is very knowledge heavy. Based on your experience, I'm sure things have changed, right? I mean, a long time teaching. Sure. What are the young professionals discovering new at this point, in the industry that maybe they find surprising?
At the start, they think that it's not too sexy an industry. They think that it's not for them. But after a while, they begin to learn that it's a rewarding career. It's an industry where you help a lot of people with many interesting products. When they start, they think that insurance is only about life insurance, motor, and fire, but not realizing that there's a lot more to learn and a lot more products, and therefore they grow with the industry.
Wow. I'm sure you've experienced all of those transformations as well and a lot of those success stories. I'm now very curious, as for you, what was that experience like? I mean, you mentioned you are teaching, right? And I also want to be able to encourage those who are listening right now, especially the youth who might not find insurance as sexy as what you said. What was that experience like for you? How did you find it rewarding? Tell me about your story.
Nobody goes into insurance on purpose. Most of us had no idea that we'll end up in insurance, but all of us, after being in industry for some time, realized that we did well and it was a good career move. But it's not always like that, because there are two hurdles for young people who are thinking of a job. They think insurance is a difficult subject and therefore they shy away from it. The second one is that it's hard to convince their parents to enter insurance. They think they'll just be asked to sell, not realizing that the industry needs a lot of skills. It's not just selling, they need engineers, accountants, lawyers, and all of those professionals. It's really not about selling as agents, which is a hurdle. It's really difficult to tell your mother that I'll go into insurance. It's hard to convince them that it is a rewarding career, that it's a good career move.
And I'm sure with the lives that you're changing with this career, that itself is, a reward, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I call it the psychic income.
The psychic. Tell me more about that.
Well, teaching doesn't pay well, but the feeling that you have after doing a good class, invaluable. It cannot be replaced. Every time I go home feeling that I did a good class, wow, it's like being in cloud nine, a feeling that I will not exchange for anything. Probably why I'm still here.
Yes, exactly. That's your fuel, right?
Yeah.
A lot of educators feel that way, and these students, they never forget you. Speaking of students, I'm sure you encounter different levels of learners, right? There are beginners and then there are experienced ones. How does your training, or how do you approach training when it comes to these two specific?
Well, I target the middle and I teach in a simple way. Even the professionals who have been in the industry for some time, they still appreciate if you teach them how to explain the topics in a simple and understandable way. They know the concepts, but how to say it in such a way that people will understand. My approach has always been to make sure that the students retain what I'm teaching so that they can recall and use. Those three are not there, it's not worthwhile. So I guess the students, regardless of age, because the age range is so broad,
wow,
they appreciate the style, I guess, and different ways of explaining the same thing. And finding a better way to explain a concept. So far, it's working. I use a lot of stories, by the way.
Yeah.
I tell them, why do you need to study this?
Right.
What will happen if you don't explain it well? So I tell them about the sad stories, and then they'll say, oh, okay. And then I ask them, what do you think is the reason why the companies decided that way? So I get them engaged, and they like it. I avoid lecturing because, lecture is the worst form of teaching. They will fall asleep.
Yes.
So I make them move. Sometimes I even ask them to dance. Would you believe that?
I love that. Wait, I need to ask you. This was in my head when you said different age range. So I could imagine the people dancing. What's the age range we're looking at?
From 20 to 60, I guess.
60 years old.
Or even more.
Wow.
Even more. They love it. Can you imagine asking an online class to dance? I've done it.
I need to know how you insert this. Like, why do they have to dance?
I believe that there should be some activities. They've been sitting for a long time, so let the blood circulate by asking them to stand. And I play some music, and they dance. Just follow, and I dance with them. We love that.
I love that. Also, I mean, it's a very good way to definitely break the ice, especially if people have been sitting down for 2 hours. You know, our attention span can be quite questionable these days with technological advancement. You mentioned earlier, though, about, parents having it very difficult to convince them for their kids or their, the students to enroll or go into insurance. Other than them just selling, what are the other common misconceptions associated with insurance?
People think of insurance in a negative way because of bad experiences in the past. So that I guess that negative image has a lot to do with people shying away from insurance as a career. So the only way to counter that is to make sure that we train the people well so that they realize the value of what they're doing. I guess that's what IIAP is trying to do. Make sure that these professionals, the new practitioners, are well trained. These are the guys who will impart that knowledge to the agents who will now in turn sell the way it should be sold and not misrepresent or conceal things. I mean, that's the root cause of all these problems when it comes to claims. If you train the agents well, they will tell the truth and they will avoid promising the sun and the moon, something like that. So when that happens, the public becomes more trusting. Will have a better chance of spreading the gospel and making sure that gap, that financial gap is closed, because I think only 10% of the population is really fully insured. So there's a lot more to convince. And therefore, training has a lot of catching up to do. That's why IAP is doing that right now.
Sir Jene, don't worry, malayo na, pero malayo pa, right?
Malayo
You still have
pa.
a lot of work to do. What advice do you normally give to those early in their careers, especially with what you just mentioned?
I think most of them start by saying, I'll just do a good job. But I tell them, you aim to become a CEO. That's the way to really motivate them to learn as much as they can. Because if you're just there to have a job, then you don't have to learn that much. But to motivate them to learn as many and as much as they can, I have to tell them, you can be a future COO, CEO, and the sky's the limit. Most of them would respond and say, you're right, I guess we really need to be different from the others who are just satisfied with the minimum. So I tell them, you must have a solid set of technical skills, which is insurance, at the same time, leadership and managerial skills. And those are the things that we teach at IIAP. If you're a full integral person, then that road ahead, that career will be there for you. And it's rewarding more than the other industries to a certain extent.
Sir Jene, when you were talking about that, I'm sure marami kang naaalala, you were thinking about a lot of students. I am curious if you could share with us a specific success story that definitely captures what you just shared.
Well, we have this program called Suits, where we train the cream of the crop for 3 months. We invite them to join us without any obligation. We give them allowances and they go through a series of 15 seminars. Kung kukunin nila, babayaran nila siguro mga 250,000 pesos. So that's free.
Wow.
That's free. And we get the best lecturers to handle it. Most of them, after the 3 months, get into companies. They're offered, I know somebody was offered 9 positions in different, and this girl was really exceptional. She was not too intelligent, but you know, she had other skills that really blended well with the industry.
What are these skills? Now I need to know.
The attitude towards the job, the personality, the communication skills. She's very ethical. She knows the boundaries. She's excited. She exerts more effort in learning. When the time came where she was to be interviewed, because at the end of the 3 months, they're supposed to consider a full-time job in the industry. She was the one that got the most offers, and not just ordinary positions. These are about 3 steps ahead. And she's now an officer. Would you believe that? She even beat me. It took me 10 years to get to managerial position. She got it in a year or 2. And
how does that make you feel?
A teacher feels so good when he sees the students attain more than what he had. It's really a sign that you did well.
Now, I'm sure when we talk about education, formal education, a part of how you do things, there's definitely mentorship involved, right? How do you think mentorship, affects or influences the results that you're seeing, the success stories you just shared?
Mentorship is very important in this industry. One of the reasons why I stayed is because I looked up to a lot of good idols or examples of how it should be. I was amazed at the way they teach, the way they decide. And so really, mentorship starts in the classroom. A professor who can relate well and has a lot of experience and will tell you the reasons behind the decisions, you get inspired. And
Right.
the more you work with him. So the thing is, after the class, you must find somebody who embodies what you want to become. Within the organization, there's got to be somebody who is willing to help you, to share their experience and decisions. And you sort of copy them. And if they're successful, you should be successful too. That's my formula. So mentoring, very important in the industry. For a product that is not tangible, you
Right.
need it. You need it very well.
Could you tell me about a specific mentor that really influenced you? What did
Yeah.
you get from him or her?
My first job was as a management trainee. Our manager was a very good lecturer, very funny. He has a lot of humor, but at the
Okay.
same time, he teaches well. His name is Ramon Medina, and I cannot forget him because he really was the one who inspired me to continue in the industry. There were about 10 of us starting, and right now I think only 2 of us are left in the industry. There's a lot of attrition. But I was looking back and I said, maybe because I want to be like him. I want to excel in
Yeah.
teaching, so I really did everything I can to get the best parts of his styles.
Yeah.
And right now I'm just working on the humor part because he tells jokes better than me.
But I think you're very successful so far. Listening to you, it's definitely inspiring, and I can only imagine not really imagine, but I experience for sure, the impact of what a mentor can truly do. For those who are just starting out, maybe if they're just maybe an underwriter or claims analyst, how can you encourage them to actively seek that level of support or mentorship?
At first, they will feel scared. But later on, when they get to see the product as a whole, when I started, I didn't know what insurance was all about. I thought it was a racket. But after learning, I saw the beauty in the product. I saw the thing that it does to people, remove worries, give them peace of mind. That to me is a wonderful concept. And from that on, I said, this is a noble profession that others should consider. Because there's nothing like it, the feeling that you're serving people and at the same time you're earning enough. That's really a blessing to
Yes.
me. So I tell them, consider this, try it, because you will not regret it. It opens up a lot of opportunities that you will not find elsewhere. And you will be learning, continually learning, because the products keep on evolving and there's always something new. Plus you meet a lot of interesting people, It's international.
Right.
You have a chance to go around the world for free while being paid. Conferences, the reinsurance transactions, the treaties, the people that you have to develop contacts with, exchange businesses with. This really enriches the whole thing.
Right.
So very few industries can claim as much. When they hear that, they are now more motivated to listen to me while I lecture.
You definitely have so much experience. You've taught in universities, you've taught in corporate settings. What's the difference?
I teach in the graduate school. There, the students will have to listen because otherwise, babagsak ko sila, grades. No?
Okay.
But, so they have to pass. But in the insurance industry, I don't give grades. Most of them are adults, and the first thing they will ask is, what's in it for me? Why should I listen to you? So it's more difficult to convince them to listen and really focus. So it takes a lot more effort to motivate. The motivational aspect really is the challenging part. And up to now, I'm still developing a lot of ways to get them to be interested at the start, to engage them so that they will not be bored.
Right.
So that's why I said earlier, I use a lot of techniques,
yeah.
games, activities. They want activity. They don't want to listen.
Right.
So I asked them. So some students do not like the style because I really call them by name and ask them the question. And they're surprised because they don't get that a lot. No? So, but to me, that's the way to engage them and get them motivated to learn, because they were sent by their managers without knowing what to expect. And
Right.
they just want the certificate, right?
Right.
So it takes a lot to convince them, please listen because this is important to you and you will not regret it later on.
But Sir Jene, you wrote a book, your recent
Yes.
book, 50 Lessons to Learn When Buying Insurance. And I understood, or from what I know, it draws from real life experiences. What can we get from this?
In my teaching, I found out that there are only a few things that the agent or the insurance practitioner must really learn well to avoid the problems that comes when the benefits are being paid or claims are being made.
Okay.
And so I said, why don't I put them in a book? Because that way, agents and employees and buyers can read it at their own
Right.
sweet times. Because the agents might not have time to explain it well, the critical provisions that are too technical. I wrote them in a way that can be understood very easily. I have a copy of the book here.
Oh, let's show them that.
So it's
Wow.
50 lessons that a buyer, it was really intended for buyers. So,
Right.
but also for agents who might want to brush up a review on the things that they might not be explaining well.
Right.
It's easy to read because it's in the form of stories.
Exactly.
So I tell them, I write about a story about a bad experience or a nice experience, and then I explain why is that so.
Right.
So when you read the book, you're ready to buy and you know what to expect, and that will avoid a lot of. I hope that it's my own modest way of sharing what I have learned and what I wanted to share, so that even when I'm not around anymore, they can still read
The legacy.
part of me.
I love that. Now I'm curious, what's your favorite story there? Maybe just pick one to give the audience a glimpse.
Well, the first one is a person buying life insurance.
Okay.
He knows he has cancer, but he did not disclose. And after 3 years, he dies, and the beneficiary is trying to collect. And of course, it was denied. Of course, the beneficiaries are sad about it, are
Right.
complaining. But you know, the concept is very simple. Insurance is a contract of utmost good faith. When the two parties sign the contract, the understanding is that there's no concealment at all. You tell me what I need to know on both sides so that I can make a good judgment, so that I can accept the policy, the offer, and at the same time, I can accept you as a risk. But if there is a false statement at the start, the insurance company will be made to decide wrongly,
Right.
not to accept or to accept, and what premium to charge you, what classification should you fall into. So it's unfair for the company to be paying out when there was misrepresentation at the start. The premiums were really set on the basis of the kind of risk that you
Right.
present.
Right.
But if you present a bigger risk and you will be charged not the
Yeah.
corresponding premium,
Right.
then companies will not survive. That's called contestable period, the 2 years. But after 2 years, the law says too much to deprive the beneficiaries. Later on, they allow things like that. But you know, if the insured or the applicant knows about it beforehand,
Okay.
then he will disclose everything, right?
Right.
Because otherwise, the premiums that you'll be paying would be wasted.
Right. Does this happen often though?
That happens a lot because of lack of understanding on both parties. The buyer did not know, the agent. It's in the fine print, but nobody reads the fine print.
For the newbies, you know, those who are interested in having a meaningful career in insurance, maybe I'd like to ask you, what kind of mindset do you want them to have in order to truly thrive in the industry?
Think of the profession as a very noble one. Think of what it's doing to people. It's a rewarding career, and it's an industry where learning does not stop. So the mindset should be, I need to learn more. Don't be happy with what you know, because there's a lot more. There's a lot of products, and you cannot achieve to be an expert in all of them. So
Right.
continue learning. And that's the way to move up. Because if I were the boss, the guy who shows that he knows more than what the current job entails, that guy will go a long way. So that's what I tell them.
Continue learning,
Yeah.
get far, know what's in it for you, your ultimate motivation, which is actually, if you think about it, we're changing lives, we're helping people
Right,
as well,
right.
right? If we do our jobs well.
It's a good feeling.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Oh my goodness. What a conversation we've had, Sir Jene, but we're not done yet. Before we wrap up, I actually have 5 quick rapid fire questions for you. This is just going to be fun. It's just,
Okay.
break the ice. You're very, very interested in that. You're very good at breaking the ice, but allow me to do that for us right now. Okay. So you have to answer these very quickly. Okay. So, Sir Jene, on a lazy day, pizza or cheeseburger?
Cheeseburger with fries and double
Oh, wow.
with my soulmate.
You got to know what you want. Okay. Do you prefer to cook or to dine out?
I don't cook, so dine out with a special someone, of course.
Okay. One skill you have that is non-negotiable as an insurance practitioner.
Ability to communicate well and the passion for learning, that has to be there.
Beautiful. Okay. One habit that separates great practitioners from the average ones.
Never stop learning and always try to serve.
Okay. One reason that young people should consider a career, or one reason why young people should consider a career in insurance today.
Insurance is international. You want to go places, you want to see the world, here is the industry to join, because here you get to meet a lot of people from other countries, you get to travel for free, and you are getting paid for it. So join us because it's a wonderful experience.
Thank you so much, Sir Jene. We definitely learned a lot from you. I enjoyed this conversation. Thank you. I definitely did. And I would like to also say that the audience here for sure has learned a lot.
I really hope so. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very
And
much.
good luck in your career.
Yes, thank you so much.
Do you have insurance?
For those listening, whether you're already working in insurance or just beginning your journey, today's conversation highlights the importance of mentorship, continuous learning, and staying curious in a profession that plays such an important role in protecting people, businesses, and definitely communities. Thank you so much for joining us on the IIAP podcast Insurance in Practice series. I am Jacqy Raj, and we look forward to having you with us again in our next episode. Bye for now.